Yeah, it's Xavier, Expressions of Grace Bonsai, and today I'm going to try and catch up on the Japanese maples, which have been sadly ignored. I happened to see Roger's video recently, and in that he was wondering whether it was too late to actually do repots. Well, the truth is I'll often be repotting right through till end of April, leaves out. I'm just a little bit more careful on how much soil or how much root work I do. But the bottom line is some of it, they have to come out. I've got best part of 30-40 Japanese maple that have been with me for 6-7 years. Everything from this that's really opening up in leaf, that's 8 years old but has been in this pot for several years. Similar ones, the buds are just starting to open up, so I can probably do a little bit more with that. But the key is, as you'll know from an earlier video, I bought some slate coasters. I want to try and put these onto the base of a few of these, get them into a pond basket to try and encourage more lateral root growth, or indeed, because I've got so many, I've made up very straightforward the old baskets, whatever the fruit comes in. A bit of wood, put it on the base, thin layer of soil, and then I'm going to just put trees onto them and either attach them with tacks or string or something. And then I'm going to take that, I'm going to put that into the nursery bed and try and encourage some of the better examples of what I've got here, some good lateral root base. And you know, all things being equal, I should have done it many years ago, and probably if it hadn't been for watching Yeli recently on his video, I'd have left it for another year, but got to get it done. Well look, the sun's just coming just there. You'll be aware that I also last year managed to get a couple of bargain basement Japanese maple. They're the old purpurum. Not my favourite, I never really liked them, but they're only £1.50 each, I think, or something like that. So I wired them last year, and they're still in the original soil. Leaves are opening up, but I do have to do the first base work, which is to certainly reduce the soil height in half. So I'll be doing that, having a look and seeing what we've got, and maybe there'll be enough roots that I can remove anything growing down. So we'll have a look in those, but basically I've got 3-4 hours of maple work to do. What you'll see is examples of different ones that I think are worth looking at. You'll have a look and see what I do on the base. But yeah, the less I talk about it, the more I get on with it, the quicker it'll get done. So let's get to it, shall we? Okay, and just to give an idea of the amount of extra space I'm giving myself, I've made up 4 trays there. They've either got like those little plastic bases down there, those little blue ones. I've put those secured on the bottom of those containers there, which have got loads and loads of holes in them from the side and the bottom, and that's where I'll be laying all those maples, as well as in the pond baskets as well with slate under them. So got to get to it if the sun doesn't get in my way. Okay, apologies for the hat. It's been a while since that's gone on, but it's the only way I'm going to stop that sun from destroying my eyes and helping me to see what's going on here. There's only one thing. If I've got everything set up, I think you've just seen a clip, or you're about to see a clip of the arrangement I've got at my feet, which is just all the self-made beds ready to accept the maples. Obviously I've got the baskets here, the slate as well, which I'll put on some of those, and I've got a mixture of trees here, so I don't know which ones I'll use for which. And I've also got a little tray set up with some rocks and that. I'm going to do a little maple planting on that as well. So I'm going to spend the next probably 2 or 3 hours doing maples. I really am not going to bore you with all of it, and I'm hopefully going to avoid getting caught by the sun, believe it or not. So anyway, crack on and see how we get on. These are the sort of things I'm talking about. To be fair, for an 8-year-old seedling, that's been kept pretty small, and that is the example of what happens if you don't ever do anything more than keep it in a small pot. You can see the size of that. It's barely the thickness of my my little finger, and yeah, that's fine. If you want to go marmee, and that's what I would do with this one, is cut that top off and keep it that size. And to be fair, a lot of this, that was my intention. But if you want these to be actually putting girth on for a start, don't prune them. Already I've stopped the growth on this because I pruned it last year. So I've already set the height, and to be fair, I'm quite happy with that height. So from this time onwards, it's only ever going to grow at a much slower rate. if I wanted that to go, then I would, as I say with my primary structure building video, you've got to just let those things grow out until the trunk thickness is what you want for that primary structure. Okay, all I'm going to be doing is literally going through all of these, getting them down to the roots and having a look to see what I can do to try and get them as flat as possible and keep them as flat as possible. So I'll show you this one and this one first, because there's going to be two techniques applied here, I think, or there might be two different things I need to do. Okay, we've got a bit of drilling going on. I've done 4 of them. I just thought I'll show you the 5th one. Probably do it in Xavier motion because we've got drilling going on. So just show same thing. This one's wired up. Okay, there's no particular downward roots on this. Got some interesting ones here. I'll let them go, and I'm just going to put them in. Okay, you want to see what's going on down there, don't you? No, not really. Okay, so there's spaced out. There's 5. You see what I mean by these holes. It's one of those shopping supermarket carriers. But get 5 of those trees in there. Underneath there on the base on each side of those, just slightly upward, so that the main roots, the centre of the roots, will go onto this plastic bit and then spread outwards, then either spread down or out the sides. Kept the roots just moist while I was doing those. You can be really quick with these because all I'm doing is getting rid of at this stage, all the obvious downward pointing harder roots. The rest of these are soft. I'm going to spread them out, and now loads of soil, and I'm already going through soil like you wouldn't believe. And all you want is enough of a layer to get soil that the roots will stay near the top, because they won't be able to go downwards, so they will spread horizontally. You don't want to put too much soil on top, because that's just wasting. And then obviously as soon as roots start coming out the holes, they die off. I'm also putting enough soil on the top just to keep some of the roots from bouncing up. Okay, so they're all in place. I'm going to water those. Obviously I've got to watch the 2 that have got wire in. I'll put them in, maybe I'll sit them back in the railway sleeper area, and I'm going to watch how that works. I haven't bothered tying them down or anything like that, so let's just see what difference this makes. That's those ones. Okay, too much sun and yours truly has to put something to cover his sensitive skin, because at my tender age of 56 I have to be careful of things like that. I've got to watch my ears as well. Okay, so we've done those 5, and now I've got to slowly work my way through these. I'm going to do exactly the same process. If there's any that I think I'm going to actually set up for Marmite, I'm still going to do this, but I might put them in the pot. So let's get straight to it. The first thing we can do is let's just get rid of unwanted growth. This isn't a pruning run. I just want to anything that's never going to be part of a design. Alright, so that's all we've got. A few roots out the bottom. Let's see how we can get on with this. You can see it's in a decent soil. And by the way, if you're looking to do hardwood cutting, well, there'd be softwood cuttings now. In fact, are they? Semi-hardwood, we'll call them that. I think they're last year's growth, to be honest. So it's probably hardwood. All I would do with that is literally, you see it in all the videos, I take the top off, 1, 2, probably just beneath a node, and then I would just poke into some soil, and I'd do about a dozen of them. And the buds haven't opened up on this, so I can be a little bit more thorough. And as I say, these are at least 7 years old, but have been kept this size because I kept them in those pots. So you got great big roots there. Okay, again, same principle, fairly flat. What I want to get rid of is anything like this. It's going around and is a hard root. It's quite high up on the tree. I want these nice fine roots to be the ones that are going to develop. I don't need to break it up particularly. They're all fine. There's another hard one in there. Get rid of that one. One here, hard one going down. Same here. And as I say, with all these fine filament roots, this is where you want the growth to be. Now, I've got a bucket of water here. I could actually rinse this out if I wanted, but I'm quite happy. I'm happy with the shape that I can see. Tell you what, let's rinse this one so you can see what I mean. Okay, so from there you can see you've got some radials going out. The centre tap root has already been removed from these. I did that quite some time ago, but in terms of how far down it is, you've got some downward growth there. So what I will do, this one crossing there, I don't want that one, so I'll get rid of that. What I want is these ones here. So because I've got these, I'm going to cut these ones a lot higher up. That will lay flat. So we've got a nice radial section there. It's looking a bit nude on this side. So hopefully that's what we want to develop, but nice. It's a nice potential nice shape of tree in there. Going underneath it, we don't want that. So, to give you an example of what I'm doing, I'm going to take the tree, I'm literally going to lay it out on one of these. Now I'd have the option to tie it down if I want to. I can attach it on the roots, but what I'm actually going to do is just put the weight of soil on there and let the weight of soil do the job. What I'm going to do, I will put probably a rock or two on it. Okay, it's only half full, but there's enough soil there for there to be some sideways. Put a rock on there just to keep it in place, and that also means that it's going to be more difficult for the roots to push the tree up and over. So that's the first one. I'll water that in. And then again, I'll leave that in the railway bed. At this height, all roots that come out of here will die, encouraging roots closer into the actual root mass that I want. So that's the first one. I've only got another 30 to go. All the rest will be the same. I might, if I see something interesting, I'll turn the camera on. Otherwise, I'll see you at the end. Well, it's at least 2 hours further on. There's been nothing different with them. It's just the tedious process of working your way through them. There is some beautiful trees there, and actually I'm really glad, even though they've stayed small, they've each been potted, I think, even in those small tubs a couple of times, and each time I've taken out tap roots. So hopefully with this latest method, and you'll see in a minute, I've done quite a few already, I'm going to see some really good, I'm going to see them come on. With all of these, I've been able to take off basically that bottom half without too much and I think for all those who've certainly got, you know, a substantial number of trees, you know, this can sometimes be the reality. That doesn't mean it's not fun. It's still great, and each tree brings its own little joyous discovery. Whether it be, well, they've all had enough roots certainly that I can safely prune them quite hard. I mean, I've been recycling lots of soil now, to be honest, because the volume of soil I've been getting through just for these has been vast. So it's been like one bag of new kitty litter to 3/4 of recycled. And to be fair, I just take the weeds out and that's fine. You know, these are certainly not, you know, getting them into their final stages or anything. It's still now just about, you know, looking at what we've got and where we want to take roots off from. So odd, it's going to be a big, long, tall one. That'll be part of the forest scene, I have no doubt, to be honest. Okay, so I spent 3.5 hours in the end doing what seems to be very small, but all of those that were in little individual pots have now been placed onto much flatter containers or fish ponds or anything, with the whole idea of getting that root structure sorted. It's amazing when I see them looking like that. Shall we see the forest now? Okay, I'm down to my last 8 or so, but in the bucket I've had 5 soaking in water and I want to get them in there. So